So next we're going to go over to Lisa Steindorf. Lisa, I'm so happy you were able to join us this morning. Tell everyone a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing in the world.
Thank you, Jenny. So nice to be here, you're going to get a lot of echoes this morning of acknowledgement. And what is so wonderful and dovetails with what I do is the recognition from the women that are on this call and all of the ones that have been on the conference is bringing the beauty of our feminine power, energy, presence into the world in a way that's really making an impact. And just from the women that have already spoken, they're doing that in their own worlds, and collectively we're doing it together. And so what I do is I'm a leadership whisperer, if you will. I work with leaders in general. I love working with women especially, and my message and my specialty, if you will, is to help them recognize that there's not any number two and number one. So I work with a lot of executive women who get to a point in their careers where they are at the top in the C-suite, and yet there's still that niggle of, do I belong here? Why am I struggling? And we literally carry our own glass ceiling within ourselves, right? We're part of that system that has created it in the world. And so I support women to, first of all, recognize that, and to break through that, to come to the place of understanding and really owning their own value in a very deep and profound way. And so I'm a leadership coach on the Forbes Coaches Council. I have a program for organizations for their own leadership, female leadership, called the Core Female Leadership. And then I also do private mastermind groups, Woman Undaunted Mastermind, which is a 1-year masterclass of coming together and working through some really amazing stuff to get to that point. We're at a place, as we've heard here, and we know we need feminine power, not just women, but feminine power in general. And so that's what I'm about, and that's what I'm glad to be doing in the world.
Oh, and I am so glad you are, because, each of us, I feel like each of us is a torchbearer in different areas, right? We're each a torchbearer. We're carrying that torch. We're leading the charge. Mm-hmm. And we're putting this amazing energy out there as a result. Yeah. So I just want to appreciate each one of you for being here today and for being that bright light, mm-hmm. because you help the rest of us shine. You show us all that what's possible. Yeah. Lisa, tell us, what has been one of your takeaways from this series, or just being part of the process in general? Would love to hear from you.
Thank you. Well, for me, it's the understanding, or the affirmation, if you will, of female power in how it expresses itself. So if we look at the masculine, and we need the masculine and feminine polarities. It's an integration and a collaboration and a complement to one another. Too heavy in one direction or too heavy in the other puts us out of balance, as we see in our world today. And what I find so beautiful with this is it's a lovely representation of how the feminine functions. It's integrative and it's inclusive, rather than a hierarchical power structure where there's one at the top and then all the minions are serving this one at the top. And in the feminine, as we see again and again, and women usually traditionally represent themselves in circles, a little bit difficult here on the screen, but when we come together in live situations, we're usually in a circle of some format. And that concentric dynamic is really what's been represented here. And I'll come a little bit from a back way. So I walk an indigenous path, and the word that people in the indigenous languages use for themselves in their own language is the people. Okay? So it's not like they call themselves the Americans or the Germans or the French or the Italians. It's the people. And why that's important and how that pertains to us is that they have a very clear understanding that there's people, and there's rocks, and there's fish, and there's trees, and there's water, and there's sky, and there's clouds. And the people are part of all of that. They're the people. And then there's this. And so there's an equality of value. There's an equality of importance and essentialness of each one of the elements in nature. And we, as females, there's that word again, right? We're categorizing ourselves, but we are part of the group, if you will, of humanity. There is no better or worse than. There is no number two. There is no number one. And so what I see here again and again in the stories that I hear is all of the women in this wonderful collaboration, each one of us has understood who we are. Not necessarily what we do. And it's another thing about indigenous languages, they're verb-based. It's not about what, it's not about objects. There's none that have actually the word for ownership. So it's who are we being? And if there's anything that I would like to emphasize, it's the illusion of improvement, of shift, and of progress. Those are illusions because you already are that which you think you need to become. We are that now. And so the illusion is that we have to get somewhere else, change something in order to be who we think we want to be or should be in the world. And what I affirm is knowing that. We already are that. And now, with that understanding, now we can shine in the world, which is exactly what's going on here, is that we're taking that knowing of who we are with full permission. Why not? Because that's why we were put here, right? And to be that. And in the wonderful reference to competition, one of the things I always say is like, tell me what's better, the elephant or the butterfly? Like, which one of those do we need more in the world? Well, or maybe it's chocolate or it's spaghetti. Well, which one, it's like we need all of that. That all creates our world and the beauty of it and the abundance of it. And so, yeah, that's what I celebrate. And especially women bring that to the world, that integration. And I think that's what our world is clamoring for right now, both collectively and also internally.
Oh, that is huge. And one thing, I'm looking at the Facebook chat right now, and I already am who I wish to become. So I love that. And then so there's so much gold right in that. So I'm definitely like, guys, we're all going to have to like rewatch this because there's been so many gems dropped so far. So yeah, thank you, Lisa. That was huge. Thank you so much.